The following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Chris, I believe you're
there. He is. What's going on? I'm back again. Chris Yow's back. Tell a friend. It is Friday. Welcome in to this edition of Main Street Sports Today. Glad to have you guys with us as always. I am Chris Yow alongside Mo Patton, the Hall of Famer, and of course Justin is in as well. As you just heard him tell me that I'm muted, and I appreciate that. So
no
I was trying to mute to make sure that that Charlie didn't open the show with her excitement, but she very well could have and done a great job.
It wouldn't have been any worse.
That's a low bar though, so you know. Oh man, it's Friday, Mo. How you feeling?
Feeling good because it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah, was kind of hoping to get out and see a little preseason high school football this evening, but apparently that's not the case, at least not the scrimmage that I had intended to go to. So
yeah,
I'll figure out something like Diamondbacks and Braves.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't come down here expecting anything because it's pretty wet. It's been raining all day long, and it's rained pretty hard down here in Columbia for sure.
Well, I mean, I knew by what time was it? Hang on. I can tell you when it is that Ben Martin pulled the plug on Spring Hill and Lebanon.
It was probably pretty early because about 10:30 this morning, it came a torrential downpour.
Right at noon.
Yep. That sounds about right. And not surprised at all because it's bad.
Yeah.
Can't be messing up the field for no scrimmage or even your practice field.
Trust me, I'd rather have a July 29th scrimmage rained out than a August 19th season opener. So let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah, let's get the rain out of the way as quickly as possible. That's absolutely for sure. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports, Mo, because that's what we're supposed to do.
All right,
that's what they say. Today's top story, the opening kickoff, comes from the Southeastern Conference, where we talked about it during media days, as it happened during media days. But Texas A&M athlete, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, does everything kind of thing, Aniyah Smith, was arrested during, the day before he was set to appear at SEC Media Days, and has since had his charges dropped.
That happens.
It does, in fact, happen on occasion, and sometimes it's perfectly the way it should be. Now, I will say this. I did not expect it to happen.
Certainly not this quickly.
And not this quickly, but clearly, the folks in the justice system out in College Station were
Brazos County specifically. They are refusing to prosecute all charges filed by the University Police Department. So I don't know why you would arrest somebody and then just refuse to pursue it.
Well, you have to remember that, police don't prosecute. Police
Yeah, I
are there
guess.
to do one thing, and the prosecution's there to do a secondary thing. And essentially, they basically said, we don't have what we need to prosecute this case. And so here we go. His
Yeah.
attorney, Craig Greening, said that he has received word from the Brazos County Attorney's Office that they are refusing to prosecute charges. He was arrested Wednesday on driving while intoxicated, unlawful carrying of a weapon, and possession of less than 2 ounces of marijuana. Quote, I'm just happy the Brazos County Attorney's Office looked at this quickly and took swift action to exonerate Anaya Smith of all charges. Now, I don't know if that's if exonerate is the correct word.
I
There,
don't know
Mr.
if exonerate
Greening,
is
but
yeah, but hey, certainly sounds good. And so now consequently, after this arrest, Anaya Smith was suspended. Is that right?
that's correct. Now, he was suspended by the school, I think. I don't know.
Was it by the school or by the football team? I don't quite remember the semantics of that.
And I think it matters.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be, you'd be hard pressed to continue having him suspended in the event. I mean, how do you suspend a guy who wasn't charged, right?
Yeah. Or if the charges have been dropped. Yeah. And it was a school suspension because yahoosports.com is reporting that the school suspension of Smith has been lifted.
There you go. Lifted. Gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
No mas.
According to Craig Greening in this article, it was obvious that Mr. Smith was not intoxicated. Now that we have the passenger statement stating that the marijuana was his and that Mr. Smith didn't know about it, never possessed it, and also never smoked marijuana that day, there was no crime committed by Mr. Smith from what I've reviewed and all the reports that I've been able to see up to this point.
So they charged
So
him
apparently
with
the marijuana
driving
was
while
in
high.
the car.
Right, but they didn't charge him with drinking and driving. The police said what it sounds like. Now, obviously, I don't know the specifics, but what it sounds like is they thought he was high while he was driving and therefore charged him with the DWI. And the lawyer here is saying he didn't know about it. He didn't smoke it. So these charges can't be true.
And apparently the Brazos County Attorney's Office agreed with him. So
there you go.
His suspension has been lifted. He can return to football practice. Shows the university believes in his innocence, that they looked at all the facts and they believe the suspension should be lifted. So, Anais gets to sweat in that College Station sun along with everybody else now, I guess.
And that's one of the things, obviously, that you talk about, but maybe he could have had his attorney wait a little.
Pump the brakes.
Hey, man.
Have you been outside lately?
Yeah. Can you wait till fall practice is over? We'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Shoot. But seriously, though, I mean, good for him. Glad that, that was taken care of. And we'll see what happens from here on out, right?
There we go. Well, again, you had him on your all SEC ballot in about 4 places, right?
That's right. He made it in 2.
Yeah.
So I know there's some folks out there who are happy.
Well, most of them with Texas A&M, I'd say.
Most of them are probably in College Station, no question. Yeah. All right. Well, that is our top story for today. Top stories are presented by Insert Your Business Here. If you would like to sponsor the top story, you can give us a shout. We'll be happy to talk with you and would love to have you guys.
We can make it happen, Captain. Yep.
We can, in fact. You know what else we can make happen?
What I got a pretty good idea, but go ahead and tell me.
We can give yesterday's results and this weekend's upcoming schedule by simply giving you today's rundown.
This is the Rundown.
The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters, choosechip.net. That is choosechip.net. Chip is with Bob Lamb and Associates, and boy, does he love showing and selling houses. I can tell you, we love talking to him about it, and if we were looking for a home, we would absolutely choose Chip because you're going to love it here. Follow him at choosechip on Twitter and visit choosechip.net. He's proud to sponsor youth sports in southern Middle Tennessee and beyond. Mo?
Thursday's baseball action. Miami defeated Cincinnati 7-6. The Giants were a 4-2 winner over the Cubs. In minor league baseball, it was the Nashville Sounds downing visiting Charlotte 3-1.
In WNBA action, Minnesota down Atlanta 92-85. It was Connecticut 88. The Seattle Sound. No, they're not the Sounders, are they?
Storm. No, Sounders are soccer.
88-83 was the final there. Washington defeated Dallas 87-77, and the Mercury of Phoenix 90. The Sparks of LA 80.
Mm-hmm. Baseball coming up this weekend. The Orioles are at Cincinnati for a 5:40 game tonight. St. Louis is at Washington. That's a 6:05 start. Detroit is at Toronto. That game starts at 6:07 and will be shown on Apple TV Plus at 6:10 on ESPN Plus 3 minutes later. Milwaukee plays at Boston. 6:20 on Bally Sports Southeast. The Braves will take on visiting. I'm sorry?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. At 6:20 on Bally Southeast, the Braves will take on visiting Arizona. And at 9:15 on Apple TV Plus, it's the Cubs continuing their series in San Francisco against the Giants. Also in minor league baseball, Charlotte and the host Nashville Sounds continue their series.
If the Tigers play on Apple TV Plus, did they actually play? Apparently nobody cares about the Tigers.
Not according to Jeff Passan.
I'm just asking, making sure. Yeah. All right. In WNBA action this weekend, tonight, you can find Las Vegas at Indiana. That's a 6 o'clock tip on NBA TV. On CBS Sports Network at 7 o'clock, it's New York at Chicago. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. on ESPN, the mothership, Seattle is at Washington. That's D.C., not the same state. And Atlanta is hosting Dallas at 6:30 on NBA TV.
On Sunday in the WNBA, the Chicago Sky plays at Connecticut. That's a noon start on NBA TV. At 1 on CBS Sports Network, it's Phoenix at the New York Liberty. 2 o'clock, Las Vegas is at Indiana. That's on NBA TV. Also at 2 o'clock on Prime, it's Seattle at Washington. That's D.C., not the state. And at 6 o'clock on NBA TV, it's Minnesota at Los Angeles.
And in CFL action tonight on the Deuce, you can find BC at Saskatchewan. That's an 8 o'clock kick. And in MLS action on Saturday, Nashville Soccer Club hosting Vancouver, 7 o'clock first touch. Watch it on My TV 30. That's going to do it. Yep.
So the Edmonton Elks are not on TV this weekend?
They're not on American TV. They may be on TSN. I just don't know.
What will the people in South Pittsburgh do?
They will not watch it. No doubt.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's going to do it for your Friday Rundown, which is brought to you by choosechip.net. All right. When we come back, Heather Williams will join us, and she does not promise that hectic will not ensue. So this could be a hectic segment, which means it's going to be must-see television. Come back with us on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be back right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, coming to you from our humble abodes today. Mo, we've got represented here in Middle Tennessee, your hometown of Franklin. How about that? And of course, I down here in southern Middle Tennessee in Columbia. But we reach outside of Middle Tennessee for our next segment, as we are excited to be able to welcome in Heather Williams despite missing her on Wednesday. We don't love missing her, so that's why we have to get her on when we get a chance. And now we have Heather Williams. Heather, what's going on?
Lots. It's been raining for about 4 days here in upper East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. Some really bad flooding up into Kentucky, so it's a little hectic. But we're gonna channel the good and talk a little NASCAR.
Awesome. Heather, I thought about you over the weekend, obviously, as the race concluded with Denny Hamlin supposedly winning. And then all of a sudden he didn't. And I just thought that was, the post-race inspection is a little, I guess if you are a NASCAR follower, you're used to that kind of thing. But to have one winner announced and then all of a sudden, whoa, hold up. It's kind of odd, I guess, to the casual fan.
It's definitely unique to motorsports. The most interesting thing about this one, per se, is the fact that the guy who ended up being declared the winner was on an airplane and didn't even know he was declared the winner until he landed about an hour later. So just adds to the craziness and the chaos of the weekend. And it has happened in 60 plus years in NASCAR. So it was definitely different.
Chase Elliott, the eventual winner, I guess. But and I saw you kind of broke down the basis for the issue on your show earlier this week. Kind of take folks that may not know what's going on through that.
Yeah, my co-host on the show, who's a crew chief in NASCAR, did a much better job of breaking it down than I probably will. Plus, we had a visual. But if you think about your bumper and the area on a one piece of a race car where the bumper and the car actually kind of come together, there's a little bit of a lip there. And they use the tape to smooth over the lip a little bit and make the front of the car a little more aerodynamic. And that is what NASCAR considered to be an unfair advantage.
And this was, a calculated thing then, basically, right?
It almost certainly had to be. I mean, to put the tape in that location, they had to have found something in the wind tunnel or known somehow that was going to give them a little bit of an advantage. And they also hid it underneath the wrap, so it wasn't in plain sight. They didn't appeal the decision. So that, I think, pretty much tells you what you need to know about the premeditation of the whole thing.
Now, are Hamlin and Busch teammates?
They are both Joe Gibbs Racing.
Okay, so it makes sense that if you were going to do it to one, you would do it to both.
Yeah, and it's likely it could have been done to all 4 of their cars, maybe even all 6 Toyotas, but they only inspect certain cars, and they only take certain cars in for inspection. They're usually the winner, the next top finishing cars in each manufacturer, and then one random car. So Denny being the winner, Kyle being the next highest finishing Toyota, they were chosen for inspection. So the other cars might have had it too. They probably did have it, but they weren't chosen for inspection, so they weren't caught.
There you go. It's a lot different. See, back in the day, Mo, post-race inspection, they would just, take a tape measure to the car and see if it was high enough. Now it's a little more, advanced.
It's kind of like the security guy outside the Eagles football game, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot going on. That it is interesting though that you see a winner who obviously wasn't expecting to be declared the winner, and the question I have, obviously his car was inspected eventually.
Yeah, because he would have been the top finishing Chevy.
Wouldn't that have been fun though if he weren't inspected? That would have been great. But no, it is a unique factor that is unique to motorsports. There's no question there. And speaking of Toyotas and Joe Gibbs Racing, and I guess 2311 Racing, Kurt Busch suffered an injury in Pocono, and it's going to keep him out at least this week. And that means that Ty Gibbs will be wearing the 45 on Sunday.
Yeah, and one of the things that's kind of interesting about all of this, as far as Ty Gibbs goes, is that it's my understanding that John Hunter Nemechek is the designated backup driver for Joe Gibbs Racing. I haven't been able to figure out if he is for 2311 too, but it kind of makes sense considering there's only 6 Toyota teams that he probably would be for them as well. But they chose to go with Ty Gibbs instead. And I'm almost wondering if that wasn't a message to Kyle Busch, who they are in deep contract negotiations with, trying to get him re-signed, and it's not going well. Kind of a message to Kyle saying, we're going to go ahead and get Ty Gibbs ready, and if you don't come straight and come to our side, we're just going to go ahead and put him in a year early in the 18. So I think it would be fascinating if an injury by Kurt Busch could end up costing Kyle Busch in the long run.
Speaking with Heather Williams of WCYB-TV of Bristol, as she is in her newsroom on this Friday afternoon, joining us.
Chaos.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. So out at Pocono this past weekend, the final finishes were Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, and Daniel Suarez of Trackhouse Racing finishing third. So again, Ty, we're taking credit for that one as well.
Yeah, and it was really fun to see some guys that don't necessarily run well in Pocono or have it in the past run well. Suarez is one of them. Bubba Wallace finished 8th. I don't think he's ever run that well in his 4 years in the Cup Series at Pocono. So it was a really interesting race, not just because of all the drama that happened off the racetrack, but just some of the interesting guys that found a little something on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's interesting because, when you are talking about this Trackhouse team and Chase Elliott getting a win and all of the playoff implications that come with all of this, the playoffs right now are getting a little murky toward the back of the pack. What's your read on this as they close in on the playoff season?
Well, if I'm Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr., who are the 2 guys holding down playoff spots with just a handful of races to go to the playoffs, I'm nervous because I think there's a really good chance we're going to get at least 16 winners. And then if I'm a guy like Austin Cindric or Chase Briscoe, who are the guys with one win, but at the bottom of the standings of the guys that have one win, I'm also nervous because if we get 17 winners, the winner that's the lowest in the points doesn't make the playoffs, even though they've won. So you've gone from all year thinking you're in because they promote win and you're in to, oh, I've got to win, but I didn't make the playoffs, which is crazy to think of because it hasn't happened in the chase/playoff era. But it's a distinct possibility that a guy with a win may not make the playoffs. And I think that we'll get at least one more winner. So Truex and Blaney could be battling for the final playoff position. But really, Ryan Blaney, I mean, he can finish as high as second in the regular season points and miss the playoffs if he doesn't get a win.
That is, I saw someone post a tweet earlier this week from the first restrictor plate race at Daytona. And of course, it's Dale Earnhardt talking trash about restrictor plates. They've killed racing, this, that, and the other, And I wonder if there are some veterans who aren't thinking that right now.
About restrictor plates or about the point system?
About the car being so equal that it's killing racing.
I don't think that there's people that think that. I think there's about the car. I think there's a lot of people that don't like the playoff system because NASCAR was really founded on consistency, went to a championship. Benny Parsons won his championship with one win. Matt Kenseth won his championship with one win. And there were guys.
Was it Kurt Busch who won one without a win?
There's nobody that's never won without a win. One win is the less. But the year that Matt Kenseth won with one win, Ryan Newman won 8 times that year. So it's always been based on consistency until now. So a lot of people believe that that's killing the sport, but I haven't really heard many people complain about the new car. If anything, it's helped in that make it, in my opinion, take it back to its roots because NASCAR was very much built on if you can pay the fee and you can show up, you can race. Well, the expense had made that not be the case anymore. The access point to get in without the charters are expensive, but the access point to get within a charter is pretty reasonable and far less expensive than it had been.
Okay. Well, we say that now that the guy who doesn't get in with a win might think it's killing racing at the end of the year.
It's interesting because I talked to Chase Briscoe this week, and he's one of those guys that's very much on the bubble. And sure. Chase has said to me multiple times, look, I've had opportunities to win other races. I've had opportunities to move up in the points. I've had opportunities to put myself in a better position, and I haven't done it. We all know what the system is. You got to play the game. The old saying, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, That's right. Know the game. I mean, they know what it is. So they just have to, he says, his team just has to do better.
Mo, this weekend, we're at the Brickyard, but it's not the Brickyard.
Yeah.
Because it's a road course.
It's not your typical road course. I mean, it's more like the Roval than the road course, right?
Yes.
Because it's a little windy track inside the Brickyard. So I'm not a huge fan of it, especially now. I mean, the racing at the Brickyard had gotten boring. It was terrible with the old car. But these new cars are so good on the intermediate mile and a half type tracks. I know the Brickyard's 2 miles plus, but those types of tracks, the new car is so good there that I think that these new cars would be really good on the big track. And so I'm hoping maybe eventually that they might go back to that.
The Big Machine Vodka 400 at the Brickyard, powered by Florida Georgia Line.
Needs a longer name.
That's you could use a few more words in there, couldn't you?
It's pretty interesting. Florida Georgia Line isn't even like a thing anymore. They're not even together anymore.
Apparently they have enough money to sponsor a race.
Well, Scott Borchetta has more money than God, so Dude's out here, which I mean, he was always he was always a race car driver. He drove at the fairgrounds for years and years, but yeah, he's got a lot. He's got plenty of money. He can name it whatever he wants to. I mean, he could literally name it the Scott Borchetta 400 if he wanted to.
There was a year that the Brickyard was named. When Crown Royal was the sponsor, they actually gave away a chance to put somebody's name in the title years ago.
The Jimmy Kimmel Bowl, baby.
Basically something like that, but they get a contest and it was a fan's name on the title.
Well, Heather, it's that time. We have to
hold up just a second, Chris, before you ask her that, because I know we bring Heather on to talk NASCAR, but we would be remiss if we don't remind everybody that, speaking of Big Machine, the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is next weekend on the streets of Nashville. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, I want to come up there one day for that race. Hopefully they'll run long enough for me to get a chance to come up there. I love IndyCar racing. I love Joseph Newgarden. Hopefully I think he got cleared to race this week, so that's good news that he'll be able to return next week to Nashville. I enjoy the IndyCar a lot. It was actually my first love before NASCAR.
Well, there we go.
It is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to talk about it a little bit next week, and looking forward to the Big Machine Vodka street race here in Nashville. But now we have to ask Heather, who is going to win on Sunday in Indianapolis?
Well, I think because what I mentioned about Indy being a little bit more like the Roval. This driver has had success at the Roval. He's run at the Roval. He's in desperate need of a win. I'm picking Ryan Blaney to win this weekend. He's been the most consistent team all year behind Chase Elliott, but he's in grave danger of missing the playoffs. And I think he could take his experience on the Roval and bring that to Indianapolis and come out with a win.
There you go, Ryan Blaney. Picking with Heather. There is your winner for the weekend. Heather, as always, we appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you again next week as we see how your pick did. And
usually it's not very well, but
well, it is
usually like some kind of curse.
There you go. Well, you either have to be really good or really bad, but either way, you can gain notoriety.
That's true.
Heather Williams, WCYB-TV. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little Titans, a little more college football, and maybe some other random things throughout. So we'll get to it right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Come back with us. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Again, Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, Justin Kulik on the controls for us today. And Mo, this week obviously kicked off the pro football season, and a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Titans training camp, because it sounds like everything's going really well. And earlier today, obviously we talked about that defense that they will have this coming season and how we expect them to be pretty good. Put a little competition in the defensive backfield. And I don't know how much competition it is, but they did sign Shakur Brown, who has spent time with the Steelers, the Chiefs, among others, but most recently made 39 tackles in 10 games for the USFL Pittsburgh Maulers.
Yeah, 9 games, 36 tackles for the Maulers this spring. Played his college ball at Michigan State, and like you said, I mean, get some guys in there, maybe get a little competition going, maybe just, I mean, you're always looking to be better. And so if Shakur Brown can make you better on the back end, maybe make you better on special teams, 5'10", 190 corner, why not? So, yeah, I mean, throw them out there. I mean, you know who the frontline guys are in that secondary, but if you can develop some depth somewhere, and if he can help you with that, why would you not? So,
yeah, especially with, there's still a question mark with Caleb Farley, right? So until we know for sure that he's going to be able to play, I think that's kind of, the depth is where you've got to have him.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody is bringing Shakur Brown in on July 28th, July 29th with an eye on him competing for a starting role. But again, if he can give you some depth somewhere on the back end and help there, again, if he can help on special teams, then he's probably going to be a plus for you.
Yeah, no question. So looking forward to seeing Shakur Brown put some work in, really. He is the 25th player from the USFL who has signed an NFL, at least, training camp contract. So, and one guy signed a 3-year deal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like a 3-year contract. And oh man, hold on. Can't remember who it was. I think it was the Panthers, maybe. But the Cowboys, Kevontae Turpin,
receiver, right?
The USFL MVP.
Okay.
44 catches, 540 yards, 6 touchdowns with the New Jersey Generals. Former TCU standout, headed to the Dallas Cowboys on a 3-year deal.
It's not a running back from TCU, is he?
No, that guy's in Oxford, Mississippi now.
Oh. Well, I mean, he's the best running back in TCU history, right?
Yeah. This guy's probably the best receiver.
There you go.
It's the Cowboys, so they're going to do weird stuff. But I mean, I understand he was the MVP of the league, but a 3-year deal?
3 years. I mean, what do they got? I'm not familiar enough with the Cowboys to tell you what their receiver room looks like, so I can't.
CD Lamb, they had a really good one. I mean, they actually had one of the better wide receiver rooms in the league last year. Let's see. I know obviously CeeDee Lamb. Who else is in that group?
Michael Gallup and Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah. So okay. Well, and Gallup is hurt.
Behind them, you've got James Washington, who I think previously played at Pittsburgh. Is he out of Oklahoma State?
Talking about Washington.
Mm-hmm.
He played his college ball at Oklahoma State. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Noah Brown, Simi Fehoko, TJ Vasher, Kavonte Turpin. Kavonte Turpin is listed third team behind Gallup and Brown. And then you've got Brandon Smith, Dennis Houston, Ty Freifogel, and Dontario Drummond, who I presume is also injured. So
now Noah Brown lists his college as OSU. Good luck picking whichever one.
You got some options, but it's clearly not Ohio State because it would say T.
There's no lowercase
OSU.
T there.
So
it's probably Oregon State.
I feel pretty comfortable. I feel pretty comfortable that it's not Ohio State.
Yeah, he was embarrassed by it being Oregon State, so he just said OSU in hopes that no one would ask questions later.
Yeah, you know what? Noah Brown is an American football wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys of the National Football League. He played college football at Ohio State.
Wow, look there.
So you're telling me that a Ohio State product is going to be the first one to get sued for copyright violation
for not using the T? That's unusual.
That is.
Oh man. But yeah, it's a move. I guess they needed some. They needed some help in that wide receiver room. So there you go.
3 years. I mean, that's good for him.
That's all I'm saying. Good for him. Yeah. Go on, take the money and run, right? I mean, and some other
I never expected a Steve Miller Band reference on here, but hey, we'll take it.
Well, we are jokers, but that's as far as it goes.
Mm-hmm. Let's just stop that right there. In other news.
Yeah, in other news, Charles Barkley says he is not going to take a deal with the Live Golf? They changed their name. And I don't remember what they changed their name to. Live Golf something. And they were looking at Charles Barkley as being, a broadcaster for the league. He apparently was at least listening to offers because, well, they're paying so much darn money that it's hard not to listen.
Why would you not? Yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of reasons not, but yeah.
Live Golf League. That is the official
Live
name.
Golf League. Okay.
And he announced recently that he is going to stay with TNT. He's not going to go to the Live Golf. But if you're Live, are you just looking for entertainment at this point?
You are looking for splash value, I think. I think you are looking for names. I think you're looking for opportunities to kind of thumb your nose at the establishment and that kind of thing. Just anybody that you can get that would bring some publicity, whether it's on the course or clearly in the booth. So,
but we've seen Charles Barkley on the golf course. This certainly doesn't bring much credibility to their golf analysis.
Well, just because he can't play it doesn't mean he can't analyze it. Heck, maybe that makes him more valuable as an analyst.
I can tell you what not to do, and that's what you should not have done.
There you go. Yeah, but
he hit it into the sand. Probably shouldn't have done that.
It's Charles Barkley, though. I mean, bottom line,
sure.
If he's talking, somebody's listening. If for no other reason than to tell you how goofy what he said was, but I don't think you can necessarily fault Live Golf for taking a shot at him.
Well, I think that's what I'm trying to decide is what is their end goal? Are they trying to be the anti-PGA, so they're going entertainment value over maybe golf value
Well,
because
and
the
until they can-
DeChambeau thing with
Yeah.
his big drives, and it just feels like they're just trying, whatever to get eyeballs on the sport.
Yes. Bottom
So-
line, I mean, and until they can get enough credibility on the course, yeah. Any publicity is good publicity, I think, is
There you
kind of their approach here. Right
Man,
now,
Happy
anyway.
Gilmore would have been he wouldn't have had to play but one tournament in this thing to pay for his grandma's house.
Where's Shooter McGavin when you need him, right?
I mean, come on. Yeah. So anyway, won't be Barkley. Curious as to who they'll reach out to next. Maybe Howard Stern. I mean, that's how outlandish that this could be. We don't know. It could be the most random person in all of talk radio. So who knows? Looking forward to seeing who it is, though. Let's take a little halftime break, Mo.
All
I
right.
got a question for you.
Talk to me.
I'll find out what you got.
All
So
right.
stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. It's halftime. We'll be back after a short promotional video. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. All right, fellas, my question is, first thing you're buying if you won the billion tonight?
Oh, Justin?
Oh, is this for me as well?
Yeah, what are you buying?
Man, I think I would go straight to the car dealership, to be honest, and just the nicest one on the lot, the nearest lot, and the nicest one. What about y'all?
I mean, that's a solid move because it kind of takes the thought process out of it. It's just like, look, just give me that one and I'm good. Because if you don't like it, you got $1 billion.
Exactly. Yeah. And then just out of the first thing I think of, that would be it.
Yeah, I think that would be the first thing I would do is go upgrade. And trust me, if I want $1 billion, whatever I get, I'm gonna like. So yeah.
So the cash lump sum, would you guys take the cash lump sum?
Yes.
Definitely.
I don't know what the lump sum is, but yes.
It's a little over $620.
Yeah, give it all to me and I'll deal with that.
Go with the check.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the government's taking 30 something of that. So you're really going to get about 420 ish, 450.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll take that. Right. So I don't know. I feel like at my age, I feel like I could take the annuity because if I need cash now, I can call JG Wentworth.
Got him on speed dial. Huh?
But
that's good.
I mean, I could take the annuity, I guess, but I mean, it would just be because they give a pretty hefty lump sum up front with the annuity.
But I mean, seriously though, you take the lump once you've got all the taxes and everything dealt with. Make your initial purchases, stick that in the bank, and live off the interest. I mean, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You put
the
a
first
couple
thing
million.
I would do is get me a financial advisor, probably. So
there you go. All right. So if the net jackpot is 911 million after, that's Arizona. We don't have state income tax here, so we can take that and throw it in the trash. Let's see here. It would be $972.8 million. And your first payment, Mo, in the annuity would be $19,265,000.
That's not nothing.
You're getting $20 million every payment.
For how long?
It's 30 years. Your last payment is the highest payment. So the longer you take the annuity, the higher the payments get. So your 30th payment would be $79.3 million.
But then you got to pay tax on it every year.
Well, in the federal tax, they withhold it up front. So yeah, your federal tax would be about $307 million. Your total will be $972 over 30 years, or you can take $420 up front. So you're losing over $500 million by taking the upfront lump sum.
That's okay.
You're like, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good.
Dude, I'll take the 19 million. I would take the annuity. I'm the weird one, I know, but it's 19 million up front. I mean, I can handle that. I can still get the best car on the lot at the nearest car lot, Justin.
There you go.
Now, is that tonight?
Tonight is the next drawing. So go get your ticket now if you want to have a chance.
Tickets, plural.
You get one ticket, five lines for one drawing, because somebody's going to win tonight.
Y'all pick your numbers, or you do the quick draw?
I do the quick draw. Yeah.
Give me the quick picks. I don't.
Do that.
I ain't got time for all that. Yeah. No, thank you. So
somebody's got to win. Might as well be us.
Well, they don't got to win. They didn't win the last time. But you're right. The last time that a lottery went over $1 billion, someone in Tennessee did win.
There you go.
So there you go. Take it as you get it.
You realize then that if the drawing is tonight, this could be the last Main Street Sports Today show.
James Gregory, if I just win 1 million, you'll know it, because you'll never see my fat butt again.
I had a friend post on Facebook that if I win, no one will ever know my cell number, my address, nothing. You'll never hear from me. So
you want, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm gone. I'm out. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break and talk a little Braves when we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Ball and Joint.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. This is the Daily Brave segment brought to you by Insert Your Business Here. Contact us to join Main Street Sports Today's team. Mo, do the Braves got to have a sweep this weekend just for morale's sake over a pretty rough Diamondbacks team?
I think when you consider their inability to close out successful series here over the last little bit, yeah. I mean, if they were to win 2 out of 3, that's just business as usual at this point. It'd be nice to get a sweep.
Yeah, and I'm not sure business as usual is going to get you what you need.
Not at this point. I mean, again, as we talked to Jeff Passan yesterday, you know, the fourth, fifth starter deal, the left field situation, that kind of thing. I mean, Atlanta's got some dead spots right now, and so to get into this 3-game deficit that they've got to the Mets right now, they're going to have to, continue to take advantage of bad teams as they have done, as they did over the course of that 14-game streak, and as Mets fans continue to accuse them of, you're beating up on bad teams. Well, yeah, but we're going to keep doing it. If
those wins count,
as long as you keep putting bad teams in front of us, then yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, yeah,
those wins count. You got to get them.
They do count. I mean, they are all 162nd of the schedule, so they count. Those wins count just as much as what the 3 wins in 7 games against the Mets to this point. They all count the same. So, yeah, it would be good to get 3 this weekend, I think.
Kyle Muller is listed as day-to-day for the Braves on their injury report.
Yeah, David O'Brien of The Athletic had a tweet a couple of days ago. Apparently, he got hit in his non-pitching hand during batting practice. Now, what the hell he was doing to get hit in his non-pitching hand during batting practice is kind of beyond me. But regardless, they were trying to figure out a splint that he could wear inside his glove so that he could pitch. So
that's tough. That is the Oscari Noah of 2022, huh?
Well, except he didn't hit anything. Something hit him. So I mean, you feel a little bit better. But yeah,
the unfortunate injury, the unusual injury.
The highly unfortunate injury, and the timing of it isn't unfortunate because I really feel like he could have been and could still be a piece of a trade here in the next 72 hours now, I guess.
Yeah, Kirby Yates will make his next rehab appearance on Wednesday. I guess that was I guess he made that appearance on Wednesday.
I hope so.
The 27th. And Mike Soroka, unlikely to return until September. Ozzie Albies hoping to return in mid to late August. So,
yeah, you hope that you can find something out about Kirby Yates before Monday with the trade deadline. The trade deadline is Tuesday, right? Officially?
Correct.
So, he's going to either need to be up or I just think Alex Anthopoulos would like to have some clarity with regards to his situation as he figures out what he needs to try to go get and what he's going to be able to try to go get. And, folks are all over the place as to whether left field or starting pitching is the primary objective for the Braves here at the deadline. And I still feel like, regardless of, I'm not thinking that I know more than passing, but from watching this team, I just feel like they can figure out a way to patchwork left field. I think stabilizing the starting rotation behind Fried Strider is the bigger thing. Yeah, at this point. Yeah. And
they've lost 3 of 4. Is that right?
Yes. They lost the series finale against the Angels on Sunday, and then they lost 2 of 3 in Philadelphia.
Well, tonight you get Kyle Wright, Mr. Stopper.
There you go. Kyle Wright, Stopper. So,
and
you feel pretty good about this one.
You got to feel good about it. So going against Mad Bum, 6.9, 3.71 ERA, 78 strikeouts on the year. Kyle Wright, 12-4 with a 2.95, 1.16 whip, and 115 strikeouts. Braves are heavy favorites in this one, obviously. Looking forward to seeing what happens tonight.
I'm just interested to see what Mad Bum's reaction is to somebody hitting a home run off of him tonight.
Well, if it's Ronald Acuna Jr. or Michael Harris or Marcell Ozuna, he ain't gonna be happy.
Well, pitch better. Ian Anderson gets a start in tomorrow's 6:20 start, followed by Fried in the Sunday nightcap. Well, not nightcap, Sunday finale. It's a 12:35 start. So,
yeah, gotcha. Not 12:35 at night though.
No. Whew.
No, it's all right. Here we go. Why don't you tell us What happened this day in Braves history, Mo?
July 29th, 2011, Atlanta blanked both the Marlins and Emilio Bonifacio, ending the third baseman's 26-game hitting streak as he went 0 for 5 with a pair of strikeouts in the 5-0 Florida loss. Though one 20-plus game hitting streak ended, though another continued. Braves second baseman and former Columbia Central standout Dan Uggla went 1 for 4, hitting a 3-run homer in the 7th to get Atlanta on the scoreboard and mark his 20th straight game with a hit. That was on July 29th, 2011.
There you go. 2011. That it's history.
It is.
But it's
more recent than
more recent than some others that we've had.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, you couldn't turn down a Dan Uggla today in Braves history.
No,
right?
no, not at all. Not at all. That is going to do it for this day in Braves history and our Braves segment brought to you by Insert Your Business Here. Again, just reach out. You can find us if you want to be a part of the show, part of the team. We'd love to have you. All right. When we come back, we're scheduled to be joined by Jeff Him, the voice of the Nashville Sound. So stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in as Justin dropping the beat there on us here on Main Street Sports Today. Presented. I mean, I did. I like that. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint coming to you, and excited because it is now time to talk a little Nashville Sounds baseball with the voice of said Nashville Sounds, Jeff Him. Jeff, what's going on?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Doing well, Jeff. Sorry we missed you last week, but I'm glad to get you back on as you have the Sounds on a bit of a roll here, coming off that tough 3-game series up at Louisville to come back from the All-Star break. 3 straight wins here at home against the Knights going into tonight's 7:05 start. So this team continuing to play some really good baseball. 4 games clear of the Columbus Clippers in the IL West, and 6 up on Memphis? Is that right? 5.5.
Yeah,
6.5.
5.5. You're right. Yes.
So, I mean, and again, as minor league baseball goes, I'm not sure how much stock you put in division races and that kind of thing, but winning is always a good thing.
Yeah, that never goes out of style. And I think, you're right. There's that's only part of the equation, and especially when you're this close to the big leagues and these guys are playing for an organization in the Brewers where that team is in first place and has very high goals for this season. So that's probably that is more on the minds of the players, I would venture to guess, than the standings. But they know they're good. Trust me, they know they're atop the division. They know they've been atop the division for a long time. And it's been an interesting start post All-Star break, because after seeing Columbus and Memphis going into the break, the two teams you just mentioned who are right behind the Sounds and have been neck and neck with them for a while now, you first saw Louisville at the bottom of the Western Division, and you see Charlotte now at the bottom of the Eastern Division. And they're two very different teams. Louisville took 2 out of 3. They gave the Sounds everything they could handle last year, too. And Rick Sweet and I were chatting the other day, like, how does this Louisville team have this win-loss record? Because they've got some bats on their team. They've got some good young arms. And we all know what the Reds are at the major league level right now. And a lot of guys who might otherwise be in Louisville are in Cincinnati because of what they're trying to do. And yet, the bats looked pretty good and took 2 out of 3 from the Sounds. And the Sounds didn't have a couple of their better defensive games in that series. They certainly could have taken 2 out of 3 instead of dropping 2 out of 3. But this Charlotte team is much, much thinner, has much fewer prospects on its team for the White Sox than Louisville does for the Reds. And so they are kind of more indicative of what their record is, in my opinion, just having seen them in April and now seeing them again. So it's just been interesting. Two teams at the bottom of their respective division, but one looks different than that, and one seems to kind of play that way. This Charlotte team is just a little bit thin, especially on starting pitching. And so the Sounds a good offense that's going to make you work and throw strikes, and they're not going to chase. You've got to bring it. Otherwise, they're going to work some walks and hit some homers and find some gaps, and you're going to be in trouble. And the Sounds have played really well in that regard so far in this series. We'll see how it goes tonight, and looking forward to seeing Freddie Peralta on the mound on rehab for start number 2, trying to work his way back to Milwaukee as well.
You talk about this Sounds offense. Thus far, they have outscored Charlotte 20-8 in these 3 wins thus far in the series. 5-2 on Tuesday, 12-5 behind Caleb Bushley on Wednesday, and then 3-1 last night with John Singleton scoring on a wild pitch. The speed merchant, John Singleton.
Yeah. That's right. He's known for his wheels, He'd probably tell you that. But.
Jonathan Wheels Singleton, I like it.
That's right. Yeah. Actually, no, he wouldn't tell you that. He would actually say, all right, come watch my batting practice session. Let's see if
hit him the way he does, and you don't have to worry about running, right?
Exactly. He'd probably tell you, who needs speed when you can jog around all 4 bases?
There you go. It
is a lot easier.
It is. It is. That's why the analytics people would tell you a home run is better than a single and a stolen base. They can both be entertaining, but the analytics will tell you one is worth more.
Well, one of them particularly puts a run on the scoreboards.
There you go. Jeff, Aaron Ashby, Ethan Small, getting it done at the big league level here of late.
Ashby for sure. His first outing after that contract extension, and he had one of his better outings of the year. Such a good kid, such a hard worker. I know we drop cliches in sports all the time, but man, Ashby, he just wants to be great. He wants to do what needs to be done, wants to put in the work to be great. I mean, we saw him last year, just young and raw, but you just knew the tools were there. I'm thrilled that he got the contract extension the other day. And Ethan Small is a good example of a little bit of what we saw from Ashby at times last year. These guys are that young at this level. AAA baseball, these guys are really good. Most of these guys have been in the big leagues. It's not easy. And, you know, Ethan has had some great games with the Sounds. He had another major league opportunity the other day. Didn't go great. It wasn't a disaster. It was just kind of okay. And I think Ethan would tell you that part of it is still a work in progress, but he is also, like Ashby, willing to do what it takes, put in the work. You know, he comes down from the big leagues. You don't see any change in personality. He just goes back to work. That's been a constant in my conversations with our pitching coach this year, Jeremy Accardo. He would tell you when guys come back from the Brewers, there's no long conversation needed. There's no sort of, you know, go back to the drawing board or let's have some 1 hour private meeting about, you know, how we're going to change the world. They just go back at it. They just keep trying to get better. They keep doing what they need to do on the side during games. It's just kind of a workman-like attitude. None of these guys needs to be overhauled. It's just little things along the way. And I think Ethan Small's biggest thing is just filling up the strike zone a little bit more consistently. And when you do that at the big league level, you've got to be even more specific in where that strike is. Not just, is it a strike or is it a ball, but where is that strike? Just because up there a little bit more than down here, they're going to make you pay for those. And Ethan knows that. But the potential is sky high. The stuff is there. I mean, he can have a quote unquote rough outing as a Sound. We've seen it a couple times this year, and it's like 1 run allowed. It's just that he's walking more guys than he would prefer from not filling up the strike zone quite as much as he would prefer. So there's no drastic change needed, just continued improvement. And I have no doubt he's going to get there.
Speaking with the voice of the Nashville Sounds, Jeff Hem, here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Going back to Aaron for just a second, Jeff, you know, he's the nephew of 14-year Major League veteran pitcher Andy Ashby, 2-time All-Star, I think, with 5 different National League teams. It's tough to quantify what growing up in that type of environment does or means to a guy, but certainly something had to rub off, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's why you see so many familiar last names every year if you look at a sheet of who got drafted. I think any MLB team is drawn to that. First of all, there could be something genetic that's going to help in that particular athlete. But then there is that unquantifiable off the field component. Just, hey, this guy's been around it, or he watched his dad or his uncle or his brother or whatever it is do it. You know, there's, you know, when you're trying to quantify makeup and intangibles and things like that, I think major league teams are very drawn to those kind of scenarios. Put it this way, it's not the deal breaker, but it could be a tiebreaker. If you're trying to weigh this guy or that guy, I just think that matters. There is value there. And to your point, yeah, it's hard to kind of say, well, here's how much that matters, but you kind of know it when you see it, or you can tell it by watching a certain player. I think that's part of Ashby, you know, the work ethic. The raw talent is there, and that's still being refined. And it's a good example, too, I think, of when a guy goes up to the big leagues, they're not a finished product. There's almost more development that's going to happen up there than what they're doing down here. I think the fan in us, and I'm guilty of it sometimes too, especially in other sports, you know, it's no different in those sports either. You see a rookie or a guy who's still second or third year or something, and you think, well, if he does this, he's not going to make it. Or if he does this, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. We love to extrapolate, but these guys are a work in progress. And at AAA, you see so many guys who not that long ago were, you know, an everyday major leaguer. I think of seeing Paul DeYoung down with Memphis and what he's done for the Cardinals in recent years. Like, it's not linear. It's hard, and guys can lose it and find it and lose it and find it. It's a weird and beautiful game, I guess, is a long-winded way of what I'm trying to say.
It's not linear. I mean, that's a phrase, that's a thought that really resonates. It's not just point A to point B, and you see it. Rarely is it. Now, sometimes it is. I mean, this Michael Harris phenomenon in Atlanta, but I think everybody's kind of waiting for the drop off in his play, but he just continues so far to climb. But that's the exception rather than the rule in this game.
Well, you said it. You said it perfectly. We're waiting because we've all seen it happen so many times where there will be a drop off, whether it's a week or a month or a season. Like, it's just the game is too hard and the pitchers are too good for Michael Harris not to taper somewhere, somehow. It's going to happen. I think the good ones limit how long that is, or the great ones really limit how long of a, whatever you want to call it, dry spell that is. But it's going to happen, especially in baseball when you're playing 162 or a AAA 150. There's too many games not to have a few offers in a row. That's just how it works.
Yeah, Mo, we talked about that on our way to Atlanta last week. Just, how different baseball is versus other sports when you're talking drafts and how quickly your impact can be felt in the game. And someone posted today on Twitter, speaking of Michael Harris, and this is off topic, but that most organizations only get Andrew Jones once in a history. We got 2 in 20 years, it feels like. So again, the exception, not the rule. But speaking with Jeff Him here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint tonight. Jeff, you're going to give away some bobbleheads. You're going to retire a number. It's going to be a big night at First Horizon Park.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight in all kinds of ways. First of all, Freddie Peralta, all eyes in Milwaukee, will be on his outing. They're hoping this is maybe the second of 3, possibly 4. If you ask Freddie, he's hoping it's his last one, but somewhere in that range of rehab assignments as he builds up his pitch count. He will start. I mean, it's a Brewers all-star from a year ago. He's in the Burns, Woodruff, and Peralta trio. They need him, and so it's a big outing in that respect on the field. But you're right. Before the game, I would highly recommend people get here early. 2,000 Tim Dillard bobbleheads will be given out starting at 6 o'clock, and then just after 6:30, we'll have the pregame ceremony down on the field to retire his number 17. Only the third Sound in almost 45 years of Sounds baseball to have his number retired. 00 Skeeter Barnes, 18 Don Mattingly, of course 42 across the game for Jackie Robinson, and now 17 for Tim Dillard, who was so fun to watch, continues to be so fun to be around. We all enjoy his social media presence, but there is no greater competitor between the lines. As funny as he is off the field and likable as he is in all facets, no better competitor and no more pitcher fun to watch than Dillard when he was a Sound those many years. I know, Mo, you covered him when he was a Sound a couple of different times. Just fun to watch. You never knew what you were going to get in all kinds of ways with Dillard.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to be able to get him into the booth with you tonight. I mean, that's got to be a thing.
He's usually never one to shy away from a microphone, so I don't think it's too tough of an ask. So I'm expecting that he will, hopefully around the 3rd or 4th inning. He's going to have a lot of family and friends here tonight, so I don't want to pull him away from enjoying the game and the night too much. But my sense is he will be with me on the radio at some point as well.
Well, we will certainly look for that, because it will be fun. Of course, as long as the tarp is off the field, I assume if it was even on there at any point today, it looks like the weather's going to hold out, and it's going to be a pretty nice night. It's going to be kind of chill, maybe getting even into the low 80s, high 70s with some cloud cover. It should be a good night for baseball.
You had me at chill.
any chill.
Right,
the problem is, Jeff, though, that it's not necessarily a great night for fireworks.
Well, there's always a good night. When is it a bad night for fireworks?
Well, if the clouds are too low, we got to make sure the clouds are good and gone. You don't want to fog up the fireworks with stinking clouds.
this guy.
No, I think we're going to be fine. I don't think they're going to be low enough to hamper that. We had the tarp on the field overnight. We were good this morning, but it's been off. I'm watching some guys take a little additional batting practice as we speak. The weather, to your point, looks clear. There's no reason not to be here tonight.
There you go. No reason not to be at First Horizon.
Yeah, and you better get there these next 3 days, because they head to Norfolk for 6 beginning on Tuesday before coming back to First Horizon on August 9th for a 6-game series against our second favorite minor league team, the Gwinnett Stripers. 1P. Yes.
Jeff, we appreciate your time as always. Looking forward to this weekend at First Horizon Park. Always a good time, and go Sounds.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, Mo. When we come back, we're going to talk about what are we looking forward to this weekend? Well, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to: winning the lottery.
You got to buy a ticket first.
You got to buy a ticket. Well, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to a birthday party, so I'll have to stop by the gas station and pick up a ticket on my way out.
There you go. All right.
We are going to take a break. When we come back, looking ahead of the weekend on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint's last segment of the week, and we are looking ahead to the weekend. What are you guys doing this weekend? Justin, what you got going on?
So I actually am going to head up to Fall Creek Falls, but it seems like it's going to be raining all weekend, which is not. I'm going to go there play golf. So if it's going to
rain tomorrow in Nashville. Now I don't know what Fall Creek Falls is looking like, but
yeah, so
looks like the rain's going to hold off till Sunday, from what I see.
Yeah, hopefully, but either way, I'll be without cell phone reception. So that's fine.
If you're going up there, last time I was up there, they wouldn't even let us in.
Right. Yeah, they had just opened up that new. They just renovated that lodge. So hopefully it's nice. I don't know. I've been there for a while, but yeah, I'm excited. What about y'all?
I don't really have anything planned other than trying to get a little work done. Unfortunately, we've got a fall sports preview that's kind of staring me in the face, and got some stuff to get done on that. So trying to get some coaches to submit some information and pull that together, among other things. So that trying to pull the Braves through this 3-game series against Arizona. So, and buying a lottery ticket.
There you go. Well, I have to work tomorrow night. Obviously, be DJing a wedding, but I'll be keeping an eye on SummerSlam, which is set for Nissan Stadium. Should be a lot of fun.
I heard about that.
Yeah, WWE, baby.
Awesome, man. I loved that growing up. Thought it was real.
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. It was real in my mind, and that's all that matters. Right. But of course, we can't forget that Ric Flair's last match is set for Sunday, and it will be
right.
He'll be walking that aisle one last time in Nashville, Tennessee, folks.
Now that's Sunday. Is that what you said?
Yes, it is Sunday.
And it's at the fairgrounds? Is that right? Where is it?
It is at the fairgrounds.
Hope they're ready.
Should be fun. Ric Flair and Andrade El Idolo.
Okay.
El Idolo. It's the idol on Andre, I guess. And Ric Flair will be taking on Jay Lethal. And of course, if you're going to be in Nashville, you can't not have Double J, Jeff Jarrett. So he'll be on the other side of Ric Flair with Tony Schiavone and David Crockett on the call. Other matches include the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, taking on the Wolves. The Motor City Machine Guns, Mo.
Okay.
And in the Legacy match, you'll have Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson, son of Arn Anderson, who will be on hand representing the Four Horsemen, taking on Ricky Morton and Kerry Morton, sons of Rock and Roll Express's Ricky Morton. So there you go.
This is amazing.
It should be a geriatric affair.
Oh, goodness.
Killer Cross and Davey Boy Smith Jr. I didn't even know Davey Boy Smith had a kid.
Well, there you go.
So that's exciting. A fatal 4-way Bandito and Black Taurus versus Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix. I mean, just all kinds of craziness going on. So
when does it start?
It starts. It is bell time is going to be. Oh, that's a good question. I don't see it, but it's.
Does it not say?
It needs to be. Well, there was an update to the card, and so it's.
Okay.
And so, like I'm looking at something completely unnormal that I would be looking at for that kind of information. But let's see here. It is a bell time of 5:05, which makes sense because everyone there is going to need to be in bed by 8:30. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't. I mean, you are not wrong. Oh, goodness.
It is on pay-per-view, by the way. If you want to watch it, it's on fight.tv.
If you want to pay for it.
Tickets are still available. You can get in for as low as $19. And then if you each purchase provides you with one entry into a raffle for Ric Flair's retirement gear.
Ric Flair's retirement gear.
That's right.
Doesn't he need it? Isn't he retired?
He needs the stuff he's gonna need that while he retires. Yeah. No, obviously it's the stuff he's wearing during
his final match.
Oh, yeah, see, words matter, and I like that you get that, Justin. I like that you
match worn gear.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
that you might need that.
He's gonna need that.
Do you really want? Never mind.
Yes.
I think we all knew where you were headed there.
Do you know how much money that's going to be worth to some, guy that lives in his mom's basement? That's almost like winning the Mega Millions, Mo.
Right.
I mean,
okay. The saddest thing is you're not wrong.
Here's the thing: is you have a better chance of winning Ric Flair's retirement gear
than you do of winning this
getting
lottery.
$200 versus the lottery.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Oh man. Well,
It's going to be a great weekend, huh?
It's going to be a great weekend for somebody. I don't know if it's going to be for us, but looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing you guys back again on Monday. We might have a little surprise for you on Monday, so be looking out. We got some new toys, and we might get a chance to break them out on Monday if Justin gets things rolling, and I think he can. So looking forward to it. But thank you guys for hanging out with us this week, and we'll be back on Monday at 2:00. So for the intern Justin Kulik, I'm Chris Yao. Mo,
ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.